Hi gorgeous souls, and welcome to this new pick a card reading. My name's Joanna and I'm the owner of Indigo Moon Academy, where I offer intuitive life coaching, online courses and online readings. So this month I just thought I'd do a pick a card reading on around what your soul and spiritual gifts are. So this reading really just delves into what you're here, what your life purpose is, and what gifts that you're bringing into the world, or maybe they are gifts that you haven't discovered yet. So if you're new to pick a card reading, this is how it works. This is pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3 and pile number 4. So just take a moment, you can pause the video and just pick the pile that you feel most drawn to. Okay, so this reading is for my pile number 1s. So let's see what the cards have for you today. So we have the 4 of Pentacles, the Moon, the 3 of Cups, and the Temperance. Okay, so this is my pile number 1. So as soon as I tune into your cards, pile number 1, I immediately get the sense that you're very intuitive, you're very empathic, you have a lot of spiritual gifts where you can sense and feel emotions of other people, which means you can easily feel overwhelmed. So your purpose in life is to learn how to ground these gifts, and you find it difficult in sort of the 9-to-5 structured job, and you find it really difficult to kind of work around that, because when we've got the 4 of Pentacles, it means that you worry a lot about money, you worry how you can make money from these gifts, and you do feel a deep soul calling to them, but it can be difficult for you to trust sometimes your intuition, and also to feel overwhelmed with a lot of responsibilities. You may have felt like you had to conform to some sort of ideal, maybe from other parents or family, and it may have meant that you've maybe you've been in a 9-to-5 job, but you're wanting to break free from that, and you really want to use your gifts to help other people. When we've got 3 of Cups, it's about creating communities with like-minded people and really helping them. And when we've got Temperance, it's really such an angelic card where you work very much with the higher spiritual realms. The Temperance is all about working with our intuition, working with the angelic realm, and learning how we can help other people to tap into their own soul gifts. So it feels like you've been on your own path of self-discovery. You've had to do a lot of inner work on yourself. You've done a lot of shadow work where you've brought up to light all the traumas and things that you've been holding on to. And really, once you heal them, then you'll start to build communities. Maybe you want to do online work, or if that's not something you feel drawn to, maybe you want to do sort of create workshops in person and get other people to connect to each other, and you teach them how to connect to their soul, how to connect to their own gifts. And that's once you've done all that work on yourself. So let's see what else we have. So we've got Weight of the World, I'm sorry, and your life is a canvas. So yeah, Weight of the World, this very much taps into that moon energy where we really feel like we have a lot of emotional burdens. We take on a lot of other people's emotions. So it's important for you to, if you are in that line of work where you do spiritual work, it's important that you create clear boundaries and protect your energy and learn how to ground your energy. I'm being shown sort of forests and trees and nature where it might be beneficial for you to get out in nature more and connect to the plants and trees and animals, as this will help ground your energy and clear it as well. I feel like with the I'm sorry card, you're having to work on a lot of past karma, and this is so much deep work in itself, where we're having to heal ancestral lineages, where our parents and our parents' parents may have taken on some karma, and that we're having to heal that line. And it feels like you're doing a lot of deep spiritual work, so don't be surprised if there's moments where you just feel suddenly tired, or you feel like you're having to sleep a lot more. It means that you're doing a lot of spiritual work on yourself and on the past. And when we've got your life as a canvas, this is really about taking it into account. You know, there's the biggest thing that blocks you is your fear of the unknown, the fear of what may or may not happen if you follow that path. And sometimes that overthinking can block your creative expression and how you live through joy. So it's important that you don't feel overwhelmed by all the to-do lists, and instead just enjoy the creative process. Doing spiritual work doesn't have to be something that has to be turned into a job. It doesn't live in that structure. It is more about learning to live your joy, live your purpose, and not make it so much about the money. I mean, that might come eventually, but it's really about working on living from your soul, and not worrying so much about what will or will not happen in the future. And then we've also got Green Tara, the Buddha of enlightened action. My soul informs my every step. I do what my heart compels me to do. And we've got Bridget, the goddess of eternal flame. I am an eternal flame, and each day my light grows brighter. So these two goddess cards are really, the Green Tara is connected to the Buddhist belief that Green Tara was this goddess that was like the divine feminine form of the Buddha, and she mastered compassion, despite the fact that she had went through so much in her life where she was meant to be married, or she was meant to conform to the royalty that she was brought up in, and she felt that she had a strong calling in her soul to do totally different type of work. So she had to step away from what she was told to do and instead live through her soul. And she really embodied the divine feminine of compassion. She's likened to sort of the other side of Christianity, where it was Mother Mary. In Buddhism, she is the sort of the divine feminine embodiment of compassion and love, and she teaches us about how to live from our soul and not always to conform to what society or our family tells us to do, but instead to trust our own intuition and trust our own heart. And then we've got Bridget, which is really about sparking that passion, that fire, what drives you, asking yourself, what is it that you love, what lights you up, what gets you excited. And Bridget is all about working with that passionate energy and that creative energy, and she comes also from a place of love, but she also stands in her power and doesn't take no for an answer, and she knows herself and what she is here to do. And this card is really just about trusting your own inner voice, your own intuition, and following your soul. Notice what it is that you're being called to do right now. What actions are you needing to take? And just, rather than stepping into the fear and the questioning, instead just trust and go with the flow and where you're being guided to go to. And then we also have endless opportunities. And this card is really about creating. I mean, you can create whatever it is that you set your mind to. The only thing that's blocking you or standing in your way is yourself. And this card is really about transforming the hardships, the things in the past that have maybe weighed you down, transforming that into something positive, something good, using your past in order to inspire other people for their future. This is it's all about inspiration and being that inspiration for others. So if you've been somebody who's been through a lot, use that rather than sit in that negative storyline that you might be telling yourself over and over, that you're not good enough because this happened, or you're not worthy because you maybe don't feel you've got the support around you. Instead, use that as a stepping stone to light the fire and push you forward. So you've got really powerful cards. I hope this reading resonated with you, pal number one. If it did, please comment below and subscribe. And thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Okay, this reading is for my pile number two. So let's see what your soul purpose and your spiritual gifts are. So you've got the Queen of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands, and the World. So wow. And when you've got the Queen of Cups, this is very sort of Cancerian and Scorpio, that water sign energy, where you're very powerful when you trust yourself. It feels like you're a leader, like you're a counsellor or somebody who helps others and gives advice to others. And you're somebody who trusts in your intuition and what is coming through for you. And you also are very practical as well. When we've got the Knight of Pentacles, it's like you know your path, you know what it is that you want to do. You're very good at balancing the spiritual and the material world, where you have spiritual gifts and you know what they are, but you also know how to apply yourself practically. So it could be that maybe you're good at the business sides of things, where it's like accounting, or the money side. You're quite practical minded. The thing with the Knight of Pentacles though is just to watch not to focus too much on the material. Sometimes the Knight of Pentacles can get a bit lost in his own head and doesn't always trust in his intuition. So it's important to find that balance, but it feels like you've got a really good balance. The thing with you though is, I feel like with the Eight of Wands, sometimes you can come up with conflicting ideas, and it feels like you're trying to balance that masculine and feminine energy, where you've got your intuition and you're trying to work out how to really use it practically, but you do feel like sometimes you get a bit too caught up, like I said, with the Knight of Pentacles, where you do get a bit too caught up in the whole how to do everything. So the Eight of Wands can mean that there's some conflict going on either within you or around you. So it means that maybe you're conflicted because you've got a lot on your shoulders, you've got a lot on your plate, maybe you've got family responsibilities, you've got another job, and you're wanting to create this other life for yourself as well that's more in tune with your intuitive creative side. So it's really about finding balance and working on combining everything so that you don't feel so conflicted or so fragmented, where you can focus on one thing at a time. And I feel like the Eight of Wands is really about, in a way, taking a step back from your life and seeing where your energy is going, and whether that's how you're feeling about where it's going. So if you're constantly doing something it's making you feel drained, is it really the right path for you, or is it time to maybe change things up a bit and look at things from another point of view? Excuse me. When we've got the World card, the World is just like, it's such a powerful card because it means that there's infinite possibilities around you. Like you've got all these elements going on where you're balancing a lot, but you're in the middle and you're powerful and you're strong. And I feel like you've been through a lot to get to where you are today. You're very centered, and you're not one to take on other people's stuff. Like, it's their stuff is something that they have to go through. So for you, it's important to stay in that center, stay in that powerful center, but find balance between everything in your life. I think that's your next step. Let's see what else we've got. So we've got called, soul gifts, and training. It's time to step up. I'll have that card. The Great Severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict. How interesting is that? Because we just spoke about conflict there. And loosen your grip. Yeah, definitely. let God in, coping mechanisms, density, addiction. So yeah, so you can be a bit of a workaholic in a way. So sometimes it's hard for you to let something go. It's hard for you to, because when you've got the called card, it means that you do have a deep calling. You do feel like you know where you want to be going, but there's something blocking you, and it feels like it's because you're keeping yourself busy. The work that you're needing to do right now is on yourself. You need to have confidence in your abilities, and you also need to maybe do a little bit of work where you're maybe having to heal something from the past that's blocking you today. Because when we've got the great severing card, it's really about there's something that you're holding on to that you're needing to let go of. That conflict in your life it's centered around you, because you're kind of the whirlpool. You're this powerful force of energy that people are drawn to, but they also maybe rely on you a bit too much, and it's important that you kind of not take on their stuff. Like if, for example, like your mom or your husband, or if somebody's relying on you a lot where they could actually be doing that stuff themselves, but they're more asking you to do it all for them, it's important that you have boundaries. You're able to stand up in your own power and not feel so conflicted. And then we've got loosen your grip. So this card does feel like you do like to work quite hard, but you need to slow down a bit and glow with the flow and trust your intuition, trust your that soft divine feminine energy. And then we've also got Freya, the goddess of discernment. I spend my time wisely. I only say yes when it's only yes. So this is exactly what we're talking about when we're saying, watch what where your energy is going. If you're doing so much for other people and you're not actually spending enough time on your soul gifts and on what is on your soul purpose, because you are very intuitive. And I do feel like you're here to teach, lead, or counsel other people on their own path. You have to excuse if you can hear the little dog padding about in the background. She can't settle when she hears me speaking. And then we also have the Lakshmi card. I can't ever say her name. Goddess of abundance. I choose to feel abundance. Wealth is an inside job. So yeah, it feels like sometimes you're pushing yourself a little too hard because you're worried about not having enough. And that feeling of lack, it's more than just worrying about money. It's that lack that's coming from within you. And it's noticing where within yourself you're not feeling worthy of success or worthy of abundance. And that is what you're needing to heal right now. That's kind of what's blocking you from your gifts. Because your gifts come from the heart, but it feels like there's a block around your heart where you're telling yourself you're not deserving of something. So just notice where in your life that maybe has come up. Where has that belief system come from? And just go deep into your heart center and just notice what it is that you need to do to heal it. And just have more boundaries, protect your energy. And finally, we have the loving compassion. So this beautiful card, again, the last card, a lot of angelic energy coming through, and this one is very much connected to Archangel Chamuel, who is the angel of love and compassion. And this card is really saying that your soul gifts will become much clearer when you have compassion for yourself, when you make your own self a priority in your life, when you stop making everybody else around you a priority, but you put yourself first and you put what it is that you love to do. Because we've only got one chance at this life, and it's important that we live it to the best of our ability and we bring forth our gifts to help others as well. And you are very gifted in helping others. You're very gifted in how you speak to other people. You're able to see things within them that they can't see themselves yet. So you're very clairvoyant, you're very empathic, and you've got a lot of angelic energy. So you're very much here to protect and help other people, but you need to learn how to do that for yourself first before you can do it for others. So I hope this reading resonated with you, pal number 2. Thanks so much for joining, and love to see you next time. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thank you. Hi everybody, this is for my pal number 3. Thanks so much for joining, and this is what this reading is for your soul and spiritual gifts and how to connect to them. So let's start. First of all, we have 3 of Wands, 5 of Pentacles, and Queen of Pentacles and 6 of Wands. We've got a lot of Pentacles and Wand energy. So the 3 of Wands is desire for freedom. The 3 of Wands is basically wanting to break free from old paradigms and an old reality that isn't serving you anymore. You may be feeling boxed in right now, where you feel a little bit stuck. You're not quite sure where you're going, and it feels like you've got a lot of anxiety around you. But your gifts come from you when you feel free, when you feel like you can do or create what you want. But when we've got that with the 5 of Pentacles, it really means you're feeling a bit conflicted and a bit lost right now. You're on this soul journey, and you're really needing you're trying to find something that doesn't exist. It's like this key's right there to open the door, but she's feeling stuck. But the key is right there. It's not lost to her. It's just she's so stuck in her emotions. She can't see her way out. So the 5 of Pentacles is really about teaching you how to work through your emotions and not feel so overwhelmed by them. Take a breath. I feel like with 5 of Pentacles, your gifts will come more when you tune inward, when you meditate more. You'll see that the answer was there all along. It's just that you're overthinking everything right now. And your gifts, when we've got the Queen of Pentacles, you've got this wonderful energy about you. You're a strong leader. You're very powerful, but again, with the 5 of Pentacles, you doubt yourself. You have a lot of self-doubt. But the Queen of Pentacles is somebody who is very proud. They've built themselves up, and in doing so, they've been able to help others build themselves up. But she's not afraid to speak her mind or stand in her power. I feel like your spiritual gifts are more about, I keep seeing like creating a business to help other people on their own business. It's like your life purpose could be, for example, a life coach, or I don't know, I keep seeing like hypnotherapists come in, psychologist, counsellor. Like, it's spiritual, but at the same time it's very practical. You have to excuse my dog in the background, sorry. And then we've got 6 of Wands, which is, 6 of Wands as a speaker, is somebody who stands on the stage and inspires others through her work of voice, but it's also somebody who is also connected to writing. You have to excuse that dog, sorry. Who's very good at writing, so maybe you're good at writing, or writing blogs, or writing a book. Maybe there's a book within you that's ready to come out. When you get this is all about working on your creative side, your creative voice, and speaking your truth. So your spiritual gifts are about speaking your truth and helping others on their own path by counselling them in some sort of fashion. And then we've got wait. That's interesting. It's not yet time things are being woven. That's interesting because it's so connected to the 5 of Pentacles here, where she's feeling stuck. The key is there, but she can't see it because she's so stuck in her own head and her own emotions, because she's worried that things were meant to happen by now. It's like that frustrated feeling where you're like, why hasn't it happened yet? I've put in all this work, I've put in all this effort, but I'm not getting anywhere. You've got this, the wait card is like, it's not right now. I feel like it's like you're like a fruit on the tree and it's ripening, but it's not ready to be taken yet. It's not ready to fall. It's not ready to fulfill its purpose because it's still going through some inner work. You're still transforming some deep healing that you've been doing on yourself. So notice what your blocks are, because once you heal them, once you work through your blocks, you'll be able to pass through into this other reality, into this other dimension where you'll be doing the work that you love. Interesting. So let's see what else we've got. We've got messengers. So yeah, definitely Sirius energy, bringing harmony and balance. That's so interesting because again, Queen of Pentacles is the messenger card. She is the messenger that is also obviously the Six of Wands is the one who speaks her voice, who speaks her truth, and shares her inspiration through her words, through her writing. So you're a messenger. You're a messenger for other people to inspire them on their own path. And then we've also got, that's gorgeous, Whale and Orca elders. Share your song. How interesting is this? Share your song, frequency of sound, diving deep. So once you dive deeper into your blocks, once you dive deeper into your soul and what has been blocking you, you'll be ready to share your voice. You'll feel ready to share your song. This is so interesting because it's all saying the same thing. So yeah, you've got so much potential, so much gifts. It's just about working on yourself first. And then we've also got, I can't say this name, Maki Glabdron. Oh, I'm so sorry. I think I got that wrong. The diamond-hearted Dakini. I see the light in my own darkness. I face my ego beliefs to feel free. So how apt is that? That's perfect. I haven't chosen these cards. These cards are all chosen at random, so don't think that I put them all together because I think, oh, that'll look good with that one. I literally choose everything at random. It's just for what pile you feel drawn to. So that's so interesting. So this is about working with your own darkness, working with those blocks in order to set your soul free, in order to set your creativity free. So it's really, these next few months is about working on yourself and really working on what is that has been blocking you. And Lala, the saint of spoken words. I love this. Every word I say becomes a prayer. I am the author of my own story. So pile number 3, you have so many cards that are all about sharing your voice, sharing your wisdom, writing, just sharing that creative spark. And you've literally got cards that are like, say the same thing. This is amazing. So I think that you've got so much potential, so many gifts there. And oh my goodness, perfect. So we've got Starseed Elemental. So the Starseed, these, you may or may not believe like this sort of idea, but starseeds are believed to be like angelic beings in a way, where they don't live in our dimension, but they're from other frequencies, other planets. And there's many starseeds that have embodied the human incarnation at this time in order to help humanity lift its vibration up. So in the past, you may have felt like somebody who has been a wallflower, who maybe other people had found, you'd either find it difficult to find your place in the world or find your place in family and with friends. And that's because you're meant to be different. You're meant to speak in a different frequency. What it is that you're meant to create comes from a different plane of existence. It's not something that is understood on the 3D world that we're living in right now. It's on the 5D dimension, which is what humanity is moving up towards, it's evolving to, and you're here to share that message. So like, I keep getting light code frequency, like I keep getting like, you're here to bring in these powerful light codes. And you feel them in your soul. You may even get images of symbols coming through if you're meditating. And you're able to turn these frequencies into words. So you're like, in a way, you're a channeler. You're somebody who channels higher frequencies. And in doing that, you can help transform other people. Very powerful stuff, very powerful energy. So yeah, your cards are really powerful, pile number 3, and I really hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please comment below and please subscribe, and thanks so much for tuning in. Bye! Hi guys, so this is my pile number 4 reading. So this is what your spiritual gifts are and how to connect to them. So let's get started. So 9 of Swords. Okay, 5 of Cups. the star, and the Fool. Wow, that's amazing. I'll explain why that's amazing. These two cards are amazing together, so it's amazing. How many times can I say that? So yeah, so the first two cards, you've had to go through a lot. The Nine of Swords isn't an easy card to have to deal with. It means that you've had to go through a lot of grief, heartache. Just, it could be that what you've gone through has been sort of a while ago, but it's still having some sort of effect on you today, where you're still feeling like you struggle sometimes with your own emotions. You might struggle with anxiety, or even you've had to face depression. So this card is like how to deal with our demons, because sometimes that can hold you back the most. But then we've got the Five of Cups. It's like there's so many opportunities available to you, but you're worried that you're losing. How do I say this? So you're worried that your focus, like you focus on too many things at once, basically. So we've got lots of cups here, but one of them you're like, I really wish this would happen, but you're being told it wasn't right for you. It feels like you have other options available to you. If something's fallen through, or if you feel like there was a path that you thought you were meant to be on, but it didn't work out for some reason or other, you've been really hard on yourself about that because you've been too attached to the past. You need to learn how to live more in the present moment, which is the star energy. The star is somebody who connects to their heart, and once they do, they're able to connect to sort of that universal wisdom, and that comes through down into your heart energy. So this is all about clearing blocks around your heart in order to feel and sense what it is that you're meant to be doing next. And when we've got the Fool card, it feels like you've got an array of gifts and abilities. And it's really about learning how to combine them all together. But the Fool is all about taking that first step, because maybe you're fearful of what would happen if you did, but the universe is basically like, you don't have to go all in right now. It's all about just taking small steps first, and everything else will follow. So let's see more about what your gifts are. So you've got the Love, Hadrian End energy, codependency and boundaries. Yep, definitely. And activated earth, power places, ley lines, trust where you're being led. And then deep cellular healing. Right, okay, perfect. So the first two cards are really the blocks that you're needing to heal. Like the first card is healing that codependency, and that codependency doesn't necessarily have to be to somebody in our life, though it does often mean that. It can mean sort of relationships that we feel are toxic. Not with partners so much, but even with family, the family members that we feel we take on too much of their stuff, so it can be quite toxic. So you've got the Love is really about working with that frequency of love, working with your heart center. And when you meditate more, imagine breathing deep into your heart space, and imagine that a light is activated there, and that is your soul. And with every in-breath that you take in, you activate your soul more and more, so this light grows bigger and bigger till eventually it surrounds your whole being. And this is a really easy technique to do to get started on how to connect to your soul and your heart center. And when you do, this card is all about learning how to trust your intuition and where you're being led. Maybe there's places in the earth that you feel drawn to. Sorry, there's been men outside. And there's places that you feel drawn to for their particular healing frequencies, like Stonehenge, of course, in this picture, has very powerful healing frequencies. But it could even be that you just feel drawn to certain places. You want to explore the world more. You want to travel. Of course, we're in the middle of a pandemic, so that might not be possible right now, but you're wanting to really expand your horizons more. And this is where you'll be able to activate your frequencies, activate your heart energy, because you're at those places in earth that you just feel called to. And then we've got the deep cellular healing. So this is what I feel your soul purpose, your soul gifts are. The deep healing that you do on yourself, you'll be able to expand this wisdom and help other people to do that healing on themselves. So it could be that you are naturally drawn to energy healing, because with this card it's very much about angelic, Reiki, energy frequency healing where you're able to help other people connect to their own energy and help heal them. And when we've got Arcturus and Arcturian energy, it's really about connecting to that frequency. Arcturians are believed to be higher beings with advanced technologies that are able to do advanced energy healing techniques. So it may not even be Reiki you're drawn to, but it may just be that you're ready to activate your inner capacity for healing. And then we've also got Shekinah, the presence of the divine feminine. At the center of everything there is light, and I am light. Sorry, dogs in the background. So at the center of everything there is light, and I am light. So the Shekinah is all about connecting to the divine feminine wisdom. So that's so connected to sort of Reiki healing, because Reiki comes from the heart. It comes from that divine feminine energy, and about healing yourself on that divine feminine level where you're creating stronger boundaries, you're standing in your power more. And then we've got Sarah Kali, Queen of the Outsiders. I have arrived, I am where I will always be, in love. So yes, this card is all about saying, you know, maybe you've not felt where your place is in the world. Maybe you felt like there were certain groups that you used to be drawn to. And then we've also got, sorry, I had to pause it there because my dog was going mental in the background, so sorry about that. So yeah, I'll go back to this card again because I feel like this, I've just picked up this card and I was like, oh wait, hang on, I need to finish saying what I was saying with this one. So the Queen of the Outsider is somebody who had never felt like she knew where she fitted in the world, and she had so many blocks around her heart because she kept getting told that she wasn't good enough, she wasn't worthy enough. But this card is saying you've got so much potential. I feel like the reason you were suppressed in some sort of way, I feel like suppressed is the word I want to say. Like, not only if maybe you felt like people have suppressed you, but you've suppressed yourself in some sort of way where you've tried to fit in, tried to change yourself to fit in, tried to be a chameleon to fit in, and you kind of lost your way. You're not quite sure, you don't quite know what your way is yet because you've tried to shift and change for other people. So this card is saying that you need to realize that your power comes from when you center yourself, when you connect to your heart, when you anchor that heart energy. I just got the symbol there. When you anchor that heart energy and really connect to your heart, then you'll start feeling this vibration in your hands. You'll start feeling like, okay, maybe I am starting to work with that energy, because when Reiki energy comes from the heart but it flows through our hands, so it's about working with that energy. So you might be a natural healer. And then finally, the sound of the universe. So that's interesting because this is all about working with our intuition as well. So you're very intuitive, you're very clairvoyant, you've got a lot of crown chakra energy, so you get a lot of intuitive messages coming through from the universe. You might get very prominent dreams. You're very drawn to frequency, so frequency healing. So again, this is connected to energy healing, but also even frequency healing, because frequency healing is another powerful way to work with that universal energy. And when I talk about frequency healing, it's like frequency tones, like 528 hertz, 472, things like when listening to that kind of music will activate something there within you. I keep feeling like your crown chakra is being activated right now, and you're getting lots of signs and symbols coming in, and you're activating your own frequency. And to do that, once you do that, then you'll start pulling everything together. Everything will start making sense. But it's really about working on yourself and pulling that energy down from the universe, down into the crown chakra, and then into your heart space. And that's where your gifts will come. So I hope that resonated with you, pal number 4. Thanks so much for joining, and we will see, well, hopefully I'll see you next time, and just subscribe below if you enjoyed this video. Thank you.